poem. Yes, so in the last video I explained that what Iqbal was writing here was now seemingly old-fashioned. So the first sentence, the heart is a kind of inner intuition or insight which, in the beautiful words of Rumi, feeds on the rays of the sun and brings us into contact with aspects of reality other than those open to sense perception. It is, according to the Quran, something which sees, and its reports, if properly interpreted, it never fails. We must not, however, regard it as a mysterious special faculty. This inner intuition of the heart is rather a mode of dealing with reality, in which sensation, in the physiological sense of the word, sensation according to the materialists and the physicalists and the material empiricists, in that sense of the word, it doesn't play any part. So the whole spectrum of what is considered science doesn't play a part in the intuition of the heart, yet it's not mysterious. It's just that science, in a sense, has said that this is in another domain. Yet the vista of experience, thus open to us through this intuition, is as real and as concrete as any other experience. So in this sense, he's creating this level playing field in which brute kind of concrete fact and religious experience and wahi, even revelation, are all given a parity. To describe it as psychic, mystical, or supernatural does not detract from its value as experience. He's saying these are all empirical in a sense. To the primitive man, all experience was supernatural, prompted by the immediate necessities of life. He was driven to interpret his experience, and out of this interpretation gradually emerged nature in our sense of the world. The total reality which enters our conscious awareness and appears on interpretation as an empirical fact has other ways of invading our consciousness and offers further opportunities to interpretation. So I must admit, I don't fully understand the implications of what he's saying here, but it's fascinating. I think what he's saying is that, kind of prompted by the immediate necessities of life, he was given to interpret his experience as ultimately and originally as supernatural, but gradually, because of thinking about this and interpreting it and reflecting on it in a sense, then things were taken for granted in a sense and given the status of being natural. The total reality which enters our awareness and appears on interpretation as an empirical fact. So with this interpretation, then we just take this as being all there is, as being natural, as being normal, as being mundane. Yet this total reality, this supranatural reality, has other ways of invading our consciousness and offers further opportunities of interpretation. So even if we wanted just to think of the world as being mundane, you know, the actual grandeur of this experience that we exist within can never limit itself to such a possible containment as what we would deem nature. The revealed mystical literature of mankind bears ample testimony to the fact that religious experience has been too enduring and dominant in history to be rejected as a mere illusion. There seems to be no reason then to accept the normal level of human experience as fact and reject other levels as mystical and emotion. He's saying actually it's not reasonable, it's not rational, it's not scientific to reject elements of the total reality that cannot be contained within our definition of what nature is. And to contain nature in this definition of what we understand is in reality a totally irrational position to take. You know, when we dwell on this and the significance of what Iqbal is saying, then it really can rock us to the core and shake us to the core. The facts of religious experience are facts among other facts of human experience, and in the capacity of yielding knowledge by interpretation, one fact is as good as another. Nor is there anything irreverent in critically examining this region of human experience. Now those two sentences, and for me personally, that last sentence is a validation that a scientific perspective should be within the domain of faith and amal, and that things like salah and prayer, dua, ikhlas, that these are all crucial and legitimate areas of scientific exploration. But first, we have to remember that what we class now as science is just one iteration of science. It's just one set of parameters, whereas the introduction of a different set of parameters is very much a possibility. And the limitation upon that should not come from religious people, in that we say that, oh, we should not subject the sacred religion of Islam and our piety and our sincerity to the exploration in a scientific manner. Iqbal is saying that no, go ahead. Let's bring in this new empirical attitude of science addressing the key questions of faith and practice. And this is where we, in a sense, have to put our heads above the parapet and start saying that this dichotomy, that this division of religion and science is nonsense, and that the scientists who say that religion is not a worthy inquiry are just the same as the religionists who say that religion is too worthy to be subjected to these mundane matters. The whole point of what Iqbal is saying in this book is that these two modes of knowing, mystical and empirical, are essentially the same, that they arise from the same root. And we should not get caught up in artificial dichotomies. Anyway, I just thought I wanted to say that because that really is the most important thing in this, where kind of Iqbal is saying that the Quran in itself is empirical. It's not empirical in the definition of David Hume or Locke, yet it has its own Quranic empiricism, its own Quranic naturalism, and that is his point. And I don't think many people have really picked up upon that. That's why I'm making these videos, and sometimes it seems futile because so few people are actually engaging with it, but I carry on anyway. As mundane as it is, please like and subscribe my videos just for my own moral encouragement. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu